Welcome to the Bod Talk podcast with Kyle and Amanda. In today's episode, we sat down with Eugene Williams, who is a manager at KTWU. This is just the first few minutes of our interview with him, and it went over half an hour. Thanks to Mr. Williams for his time, and make sure to enjoy the episode.
Okay, so I am Amanda Dugan, and I'm here with Kyle Manthe, and we are sitting with Eugene Williams. Eugene, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Eugene Williams. I am the Executive Director and General Manager for KTWU, which is the local public television station. We service all of Northeast Kansas.
All right, so we'll go with our first question. Who, if anyone, do you think has had the biggest influence on your career?
Oh gosh, man, there are so many people. Man, I could sit here and I could probably tell you a whole bunch of different weird and unusual stories. I'll tell you about, I'll say maybe about 4 people. Is that okay? 4 or 5 people?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay. So one of the very first folks was a librarian and a counselor when I was in high school.
And you went to high school here in Topeka?
No. I grew up down south. I grew up on the Gulf Coast in Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, and so my high school, she had a kind of a dual appointment, librarian and counselor, and my sister. My younger sister, there are 4 of us. My younger sister, straight A student, okay, and I always had the potential to be a straight A student. I just didn't quite apply myself the same way. I was always in advanced classes and all that type of stuff and everything, but I had a tendency to kind of play a little bit. And she challenged me. She said, "Oh, you know what? Your sister does this and this and this, and that was all I needed." And so that kind of pushed me to do some things that I probably would have not done, because she made it more of a competition between me and my older sister. So that was one thing. Probably some of the folks that career-wise have really kind of made a difference. There was a gentleman that I worked for who was from upstate New York when I became an executive producer, and he was a lot of fun to work for. He had a lot of vision, and he just let me run. He just let me do what it was that I wanted to do, and I really enjoyed that. That was when I first moved to Illinois. And then I had a young lady who was my supervisor in Chicago. She was a general manager, and she hired me as her station manager. And Carol was just absolutely wonderful. She was a lot of fun to work with. And then I think, even though this is a lady that just really, she was a professor that I had when I was in undergraduate school, and she is the reason that I went to engineering school and then went to business school afterwards, because she challenged me. So there you go.
So you're obviously a pretty competitive person. What achievement would you consider or be your most proud achievement that you've had in your career?
I love that question. I've had that question asked of me at least once every 2 years since I was probably about 20-something years old. And I've always had the same answer. I haven't had it yet. And the reason I haven't had it yet is because I'm not dead yet. And as long as I'm alive, there's still more that I can do and still more fun that I can have.
That is a great answer. I love that.
Thank you for listening to the Bod Talk podcast. That wraps up the first part of our interview. And a special thanks to Eugene Williams for taking time out of his busy day to talk with us and for being a great interview. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time.